Good morning. I hope everyone's having a great start to your day. Notice the scroll across the bottom of the screen, a couple of tidbits of music history there. Today's Friday, June the 12th. Almost at a Friday the 13th. Dodged a bullet. Although 13 is a lucky number of mine. Good morning. A lot of birthdays in rock music history today. Bun Carlos, the drummer for Cheap Trick. He was born in Rockford, Illinois. Brad Delp was born in Peabody, Massachusetts. And for the people who are from that area, it's Peabody, Mass. And John Wetton, frontman for King Crimson and Asia, was born in Devonshire, England, 1949. Barry Bailey, lead guitarist for Atlanta Rhythm Section, is born in 1948. lead singer for the Trogs, Reg Presley, is born in Andover, Hampshire, England, in 1941. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 birthdays today. That's pretty cool. Roger Blair, Sharon. Sharon, you coming up on the panel this morning and chit chatting? And for our friends in Europe, how popular was Rocky Burdette over there? Because his big hit here was performed in the UK by Shakin' Stevens. Tired of towing the line. You don't have to turn your camera on, Sharon. You just need to talk. I don't put my camera on of a morning. And Khadijah didn't have to, but she chose to. I laughed so hard yesterday. Khadijah is something else. And I seriously doubt you would break the camera anyway. Yeah, that's what I figured. His dad was one of the first people into rock and roll in the 50s. And so he bills himself as the son of rock and roll. But if you remember Shakin' Stevens' song, Tired of Towing the Line, that was Rocky's big hit here. And that's how I got to, that was the first time I ran across Shakin' Stevens. And I would say almost nobody here in the States knows about Shakin' Stevens. When he used to have a channel, Gavin on the Go. Can't remember how I found his channel. Anyway, I was in chat. He mentioned something that led to something, and we ended up talking about Shakin' Stevens, and I was amazed that there was somebody else that actually knew who it was. Kenny Rogers should listen to me. Kenny Rogers, Kenny Loggins should have been in there long time ago, because Kenny Loggins has been putting out great music for decades and decades. And I think the majority of Alanis Morissette stuff was the 90s. I'm not a huge fan of hers, but Taylor is just too new. If they're going to hold off on Kenny Loggins for decades, they should have held off on Taylor for another 10 years. Because Kenny Loggins, he was with Loggins and Messina. He helped write songs for several groups in the 70s. And then when he did the movie soundtracks, amazing. Gene Simmons should be put in the, if there's a way for me to get you to spend money, I'll find it, Hall of Fame. Because he was relentless in putting out Kiss merchandise. Northwoods. It is so nice to see the X-Files arrive. No, don't know about the family history of Gene. Dolly. Good morning, Dolly. How you doing? I imagine it's got something to do with his family in their history, maybe in Germany. Dolly, I keep thinking you're so far west, you're 2 or 3 hours behind me, but you're just 1 hour. So today I'm going to just read the birthdays that coincide with today. June the 12th, 1951, Bun E. Carlos is born in Rockford, Illinois. He was the drummer for Cheap Trick. In 1951, Brad Delp was born in Peabody, Mass. In 49, John Wetton, frontman for King Crimson and Asia, was born in Devonshire, England. Barry Bailey was born in 1948. He was the lead guitarist for Atlanta Rhythm Section. And Reg Presley was born in 1941. He was the lead singer of the Troggs, and he was born in Andover, Hampshire, England. Here come the geese. That's quite a few recognizable names in music born today. Different years, but today's date. Well, I hope everybody's got big plans for their weekend. For those of you that have Saturday and Sunday off, thank goodness it's Friday. And then for our friends who have to work Saturday, hang in there one more day. Mike. Mike, how are the neighbors' rabbits? And I looked out the front door this morning. There was two big rabbits in the front yard. Mr. Lee. Well, I don't know what to say about that. I don't know how well rabbits take, being out in the rain. But even if they're used to it, I'm not a fan of not taking care of your animals. I'd try to get them in out of the rain. Oh, prairie dogs are funny. I've not seen any deer in the backyard in quite a while. Oh, it was just the weather, Mr. Lee. That's all. The the allergies. You know, if I didn't have a mute button, I would not do lives of a morning and me say anything. Because sometimes when I'm having my coffee, it loosens everything up, and I end up coughing and hacking and whatnot. And you guys don't need to hear that. We need to get relaxed, ease into our day. So, Mr. Lee, are you a fan of Howard Jones? Oh, that might backfire on you. I would be more inclined to find them a better home, but that's me. A rabbit. Yeah, Mr. Lee. He only had a couple of songs over here that were good, but yeah, you never know how big they are overseas in other countries. A rabbit condo. Well, you know, Mike, if you make them too comfortable, they'll multiply like rabbits. Yeah, Northwoods. That's kind of what I'm getting at. Uh, I think Mike can verbally fire back and take care of himself, but I think with the way the rabbits have been treated so far, I would be more likely to find them a better home. Hmm. I might video Treezilla's damage today and post it. Right now, I need to top off my coffee cup. I think it'll survive, but it's a pretty old oak tree, and oak trees, um, they start losing limbs. It's only a matter of time. The one that I aimed the camera at a few times that's pretty thin is probably going to go any time now. Yeah, I'll probably do a short video and take some pictures, and then whichever one is the best for putting up as a short video. I really would prefer not to announce it to the neighbors, just like I don't want to dox them. I don't particularly care that they know everything I'm doing. That's a good idea. I might let one grow in the backyard, close to the property line, but I don't know otherwise. In life, there's certain controversies that you have to deal with, so you deal with them. But why create controversy when you don't have to? Build things up, don't tear things down. And then when you can't build things up, open up a big can of whoop, whoop, whoop. Um, Howard Jones' first album here in the States, um, the only song off of that album I remember is What is Love, and the music video for it. Seems to me, I think that's the one. Uh, he's walking around the streets, and then they're showing a woman inside a apartment or house or something, and she is very easy on the eyes. Bunny timeshares. Well, Mike, I'm kind of sort of. Oh, thank you, Dolly. Mike, I hope that it turns out to be a positive experience for everybody. I know your heart's in the right place. Yeah, Howard, he's funny looking, and the hairstyle didn't help him none. Dolly's gonna have to come up one morning. You don't have to be on camera here, Dolly. I'm not gonna be on camera early in the morning. Me on camera early in the morning is not quite as bad as me singing, but it's close probably. He had a good singing voice, though. I liked his singing voice. And his music was unique, uh, the first of its kind that I can remember. Yeah, I know it's building and building right now. All the competition. Uh, th- there's even a lot of people interested in soccer here in the states. Mr. Lee, I'm still kind of saddened for that movie turning out to be so bad. I know how excited you were. I'm just glad we got through June the 6th. Well, I'm lucky. The only thing I watched last night was the backside of my eyelids, and I don't remember any of that show. Yeah, that was a one-off. I mean, is it possible that he could pull it off? Yes, it's possible, um, but that's a high bar. Who was it that made a cameo in Close Encounters of the Third Kind? Was it J. Allen Hynek? I believe he made a cameo. Yeah, Mike, I'm not a fan of watching any sports. I like to play sports. I played basketball and uh, I played Little League and I wrestled some, but it's just not the same. Used to when the World Series was the 1st of September, I enjoyed watching that, but I didn't watch baseball all season long. And I used to enjoy watching the NBA when Wilt Chamberlain, Jerry West, Pete Maravich, when those people were playing. But uh, I need to look and see if Pete's record at LSU still stands. Because back then, you were only allowed to play varsity basketball for 3 years in college, and there was no 3-point line. And his record stood for quite the decades. As long as you're not a soccer hooligan, all the soccer hooligans give it a bad name. But that said, after after the New York team won, they were having all kinds of riots in the streets of New York. Well, baseball is still considered the national pastime. Like I said, I enjoy playing baseball. Good morning, Khadijah. I enjoy playing baseball. When our where I was working had a softball team. I played on the softball team. But if I'm not playing, the sport, I'm really not overly interested in watching it. Khadijah, you be careful rolling over. I don't want you to hurt that arm. Khadijah, I think people enjoyed your talking yesterday. There was 180 some views on yesterday's morning show. I'll have to look at the numbers later. And I laughed so hard yesterday, Khadijah. That was just way fun. I think everybody was happy to know that our North Carolina southern border was well protected. Well, I'm glad to hear that. If people can use this to ease into their day, relax at the end of their day, depending on what part of the world they're in, mission accomplished. And then if people get a laugh out of it, that's just icing on the cake. John P. Good morning. Good afternoon to you. And for the people watching over on Rumble, Nightbot doesn't have Rumble capabilities. Hopefully, one day they will. And by the way, John P., that baby's growing up quick and looking good, looking real good. Well, Mr. Lee, you take your time because I know you're going to be busy in the garden and doing things later. I get all my morning electrolytes from coffee. I need to try that mushroom coffee. Soul Star. No, they're not. That commercial, I know I've told you guys about it before, but it was a commercial for a show on one of the streaming services. And two women were seated at a table. One of them was all looked like all they could do to be holding their eyes open, and the other one was real energetic and whatnot. And the energetic one looked at the other and said, "Coffee's bad for you." And she just opened one eye and looked back and said, "Death worse." I don't know why I find that funny, but I do. Soul Star Mr. Lee wants to wants you to do a card reading for him. Oh, okay. By wrapped up, you mean you recorded your card reading? Well, that's me every day, Soul Star. I, every day I feel like I don't get enough done. Yeah, I've got so much to do. I get into vapor lock. And I spend too much time deciding on what to do. 11 o'clock in North Carolina time, and right now it's 7:48. I'm guessing you're asking for what time Soul Star will be going. It'll be 11, which I think will be about 4 o'clock your time, Mr. Lee. Northwoods, that's pretty much it. And one of my worst things is I hate to get rid of certain things because I know as soon as I get rid of it, 2 or 3 weeks later, I'll need it and have to have it and have to go buy, a replacement. Oh, okay. We'll see you when you get back, Khadijah. Uh, the heat and humidity is terrible. We got up, well, we got two numbers yesterday, two different reporting stations. One said 96 and one said 97. Well, Soul Star, that's going to happen for everybody. The my take on time going by faster from age 1 to age 2, most people don't remember, but when you turn 1 until age 2, that 1 year is half of your lifetime. So it goes by really slow. Then from 9 years old to 10 years old, it's still 1 year, but it's 1/10 of a lifetime. So it goes by pretty slow. Now, when we get into 49 to 50, it's still a year, but it's only 1/50th of a lifetime. And that little piece of pie goes by fast. And wait till you get to be my age. Yeah, Turn Back Time was a really good, a really good song. Uh, Messed up music videos with the Navy, though. The Navy swore they'd never let anybody do a music video again because of Cher. That's the Marty Feldman emoji. Poor Marty. He always had that. Instead of being crossed, his eyes were diverged, looking outward. But he was funny in Young Frankenstein. He was really funny in that movie. I don't remember anybody answering the question, what would be the first song and the first album you would play if you were settling on the moon? Oh, I'm just calling it that. I don't know that it actually is the Marty Feldman emoji, but it fits Marty Feldman. Yes, Marty was hilarious. And I know he did other movies, but that's the one I remember him in the most. Soul Star, let me tell you, I have to be really careful. If you were settling on the moon, they're talking about having a base on the moon. If you moved to the moon to live there, the very first people on the moon, what song or album would you want them to play to be the first music played on the moon? I think somebody said Frank Sinatra, but there was very few answers. Yep. Northwoods, you need to post a picture. Post a picture or do a short video. Soul Star, that's pretty cool. Yep, that would be a good one. The best one that I could come up with, Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon. Play that album. Rocket Man would be good. There is no breeze this morning. Treezilla is stoic and pretending to be a statue. So Soulstar, this is the best example of synchronicity in my life. Smaller versions of this happen to me all the time. Uh, because of this and other things, I could never do any criminal activity because someone would be there that knew me in some way or fashion. Uh, I was going on a cruise. I was living in Winston-Salem at the time, and we were departing at Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And got on the ship. We're leaving port, and I'm standing on the front of the ship, watching us leave. And this woman, we're the only two up there watching, and she's from Winston Salem. So I figure, that's it. That's the coincidence for the trip. And on the ship, everything is free form except for dinner. They have you eating with the same group of people every night, which is no big deal because I mean you do whatever, whenever for the rest of the day. So I sit down and I told it was three couples. I told them, I said, before the cruise is over, we're going to find one weird connection between us. Don't know what it is. Don't worry. It just happens to me all the time. So the first couple, they were from Fort Myers, Florida. And I said, really? That's where I vacationed last year. Turns out, first thing he asked me was, did you eat at the hotel you stayed? And it turned out he was the chef at the hotel I had stayed at the previous year. And he and his wife were on their honeymoon. The second couple was from Los Angeles area of uh, California. Oh, that's a good one, Mike. And I told them that I had friends out in that area and that they took me to Huntington Beach. And it's a great beach, very wide. I really enjoyed it. And they asked me, did you go during the week or on the weekend? And I said, I'm pretty sure I went on the weekend because the, you know, people I went to visit, they were working during the week. They said, well, if you were there on the weekend, we were on that beach together because we're there every weekend. Huntington Beach, California. Uh, and I figured that might be it, but no. The third couple was from a little town just north of Winston-Salem. And I told them, I said, somebody had me drive them up there because I know the area 2 weeks before the cruise. And I said, I don't know the people, but I can tell you exactly the directions. And I said, the development, you turn off of such and such road, go down to the third road on the left. And then the third house on the left is where we went to. And the couple said, Mr. and Mrs. So and so. I said, yep, I think that's it. How do you know them? We live next door. So 2 weeks before the cruise, I was next door to a couple that was on the cruise, seated with me for dinner. Major Tom. I think David Bowie's probably Major Tom. Space Oddity. Yeah, Space Oddity. Uh, I have gotten when doing that. I have gotten very good results, Mr. Lee, and people that I get to know really well. Usually, I know when something really bad happens to them. Yeah, but they can play it in the living quarters. They're going to have air in the living quarters. I mean, Duke University here in North Carolina was where they first started doing psychic research. Yep, I think a couple of people agree with you, Soul Star. Yeah, Mike, that's one thing about early science fiction movies that I really found humorous and disgusting at the same time. If something blows up in space, you don't really hear it. I don't see that there's no definitive answer to that question. Everybody's going to have something different. I have not heard that band mentioned in a long time. But I've got to go and correct a travesty here. My coffee cup's empty. Yeah, I mean, the remote viewing that our government researched and the other governments have researched. Uh, some people do it better than others, but I think everyone can do it to a certain extent. Let me get my coffee. I'll be right back. And I think it's the last cup in that pot of coffee. All right, what I miss? What I miss? Oh my God, Mister Mike, that is cruel and unusual punishment. Yeah, Mr. Lee, there's too many whistleblowers and people who actually did the program that's out there. And Mike, in the 90s, one of my favorite websites to go to, Barney Must Die. And you could use your mouse and put the crosshairs on Barney and pew pew. That was just hilarious. Yeah, that's going nuclear right from the start. Apparently, Mike doesn't mess around with aliens. He goes right for the jugular. Oh, one of the channels was having an argument about uh, evolution versus creation yesterday, and it was sadly comical. But I'm not going there. I don't want to do overly controversial. We're supposed to be easing into our day. Uh, Mr. Lee, there's a young girl from this area. She does the local news, and like I said, I think she was born and raised here also. And she has long, thin appendages, rather round face, big eyes, and white hair. No, I know for a fact I'm a hybrid. I got Indian, German, English, and a bunch of other stuff in. There you go, Northwoods. Been there, done that, burnt that t shirt. Yeah, that's true, Soul Star. The number of and I hate to use the predator analogy, but the number of just transparent sightings of late. If you remember in the Predator movie, the cloaking was kind of pixelated, like squares that was showing through the background. It wasn't smooth. The the couple that I've seen lately have been more like a ghost, smooth, transparent. No defined lines between. But unless I see it myself, I'm not going to believe it because everything can just be faked too easily today. I mean, the thumbnail that I use for the music channel, the browser that I have has the little AI that created those, and I don't have a lot of control over it, to get it down to nitpicky details, but it does a pretty good job. And it's just a thumbnail. Mike, that's true. We don't know until we know. Nobody's caught one for sure. And every video, even the Patterson, is scrutinized. And you're going to find an expert who will say whichever side of the fence you want to be on. Uh, Jen, that does the Bigfoot song, she that's a line from her song. Please don't rip my arms off, singing to Bigfoot. Yeah, Mr. Lee, that's why I don't want to do the 23andMe or any of that stuff. In my personal opinion, that's a very bad idea. It's just a matter of time before they can do it with groups of people, I believe already, but I think it's just a matter of time they can come up with some kind of end your life chemical that will only go after one specific DNA. It's just a matter of time. It's like making a key. You just got to be able to make the key that only fits that DNA. Yeah, yeah. I've never done that. I would like to find out exactly how much Indian I am, Cherokee specifically, but nah. I mean, that's one of the things that's been in the news recently. One of the DNA test sites, who's getting control of their records, and again, this is opinion, but I just think too many people are too willing to give up their personal information. I want to see a little bit of proof. I mean, the mountain gorilla in Africa was a mythical beast for many years, but they finally found it. I have no clue what that is, Soul Star. I don't know. There's been too many cases. I mean, something as simple as bringing kudzu over to America to be used as a ground cover because it grew quick. It would grow anywhere, and boom, it did exactly that. It grew quick and it grew everywhere. Thanks, Mike. I don't want to be banging on the keyboard and you guys having to listen to that. Yeah, I'm using my phone to monitor chat just in case YouTube or monitoring or Nightbot monitoring holds somebody's chat up. I want to be able to override it. Well, kind of a mashup there, Mr. Lee, but okay. Oh, cool. I'd never heard of that. Lyra constellation. I never heard of the Lyra constellation. Yeah. Well, we thought it was a good idea. I always say people have constipation of the brain and diarrhea of the tongue. Oh, he's quick about looking stuff up and he knows a lot. Both are true. That's right, Mike. That's exactly right. Most of the time, if somebody says something that I'm not too sure of, I usually just let it go. I mean, most stuff's not really worth it. Mr. Lee, I am glad that you liked the brain kudzu thing. I might have to say that a couple of times. Yeah, Mike, I listen to eyewitnesses. I watch videos, but it's like the Patterson film. I've been watching that since I was a kid. I saw the detailed scientific analysis in the early 2000s where they all got together, the experts in the different field, and nobody could debunk it. And it's like, okay, great, but there was a lot of information there that I think didn't get publicized if they even did it. I know they went back and they looked for tracks, and supposedly they did castings. Uh, but why didn't they immediately measure the stuff that was in the video for how tall it was? Why didn't they take pictures of that, those taking those measurements? I know, Mike, and people don't realize memory is not like a recording on a record or something like that. Memory is fluid. Uh, the first season of Survivor, this is my best example of this. There was two different guys on that program. One was a short white guy, and one was a tall black guy. And totally different people, easily recognizable by the sound of their voice, how they looked, their habits, actions. I mean, two totally different people. One of them called the females a cow. And I thought, man, that guy is going to be voted off. He is done for. It did not fit the paradigm of the women that guy would say something like that. So in less than 24 hours, in their mind, they had switched it, even though they were standing there and called a cow by this guy. They were swearing that it was the other guy who said it. And it was all because of their paradigm, their preconceived notion of who would say something like that. Yeah, I think Jeff still is doing a lot of that. I think it made him a believer. Is he the guy? He's uh, I think today he's got white hair and mustache, goatee. I don't think he has a full beard. He might. So There was stuff that happened around me when I was living in Tennessee that I never would have associated with anything. I remember it. I remember it being odd. I would have never associated it with Bigfoot. But listening, on Why the Fascination with Moggs and Stevie, other people consider it Bigfoot. Yeah, Mike, that is true. And I prefer actual science, not some of what they call science these days. Oh, geez, that's terrible. I know the last video I saw him on was probably about 3 or 4 years old. Well, that's sad. He seemed like a good guy. So that's why when people ask me if I believe in Bigfoot, I tell them I believe in the possibility of Bigfoot. If somebody asks me if I believe in UFOs, I believe in the possibility that there is life, that it's not on Earth and or not in this dimension. But I want to see proof. Yeah, Northwoods, that's what I'm saying. In today's world, firsthand information. It, it's like the lightning bugs in Elkmont over in eastern Tennessee. I grew up with lightning bugs everywhere. Uh, I had seen lightning bugs my entire life, but when I was living over there and I heard that the lightning bugs in this one little wooded area, they all light up at the same time and they all go dim at the same time. Uh, I didn't believe it until I saw it, and it's pretty amazing. I mean, you're sitting there in the woods in the dark, and there's a bunch of people there because everybody wants to see it. And as far as you can see in the woods, just stick with lightning bugs. They all light up, they all go out. And they bill it as being the only place on earth they do that, which I have found out that there's a place in South Carolina that does the same thing. That's true, Northwoods. I mean, uh, that night that on Why the Fascination, they got to talking about the meteor shower, and I went out and was looking around for meteors, and I saw that light in the northwest sky that was just doing circles. I mean, tight little circles. If I'd have held my thumb at arm's length, I could have just about covered up everything. Uh, I can't explain that. Don't know what it is. Don't know what it isn't. All I know is it was something I had never seen before. And I mean, I did everything I could to verify that it was actually happening. I walked over and leaned up against the porch so that I could stabilize myself. I looked at other stars, they were stable, but this one star was just spinning, and then it would stop, and then it would move, and again, about eh, my thumb at arm's length, it would move about the width of my thumb. Northwoods, hindsight's always 2020, and foresight's close to blind. That's why when people ask me what kind of woman I'm looking for, my first uh, characteristic is honest. And that's a rarity these days. Well, Northwoods, look at the bright side. You've got some seriously good jokes. Wow, that's something else, Northwoods. When I was a kid, we were living out in the middle of nowhere, and one night there was two big round objects circling each other up in the sky above the neighbor's barn, and we saw a shadowy outline of somebody walking in front of the barn. Uh, we just thought it was a person. We didn't know. I'd pretty well forgotten about that until just now and what you were talking about, Northwoods. But we live close enough to Brown Mountain. We just figured it was the Brown Mountain Lights. So you've had multiple encounters, Northwoods. And Mr. Lee, Houdini, him and his wife had that agreement And I don't think Houdini was ever convinced. There you go. Just remember, Mr. Lee, you're asking for something that you yourself don't necessarily do. Yeah, Northwoods. I I I really enjoy airplanes. I mean, I'm no 100% expert on them, but especially these days because I haven't tried to keep up with them. But the SR-51, listen to me, the SR-71 is my all-time favorite plane because they started designing it in the late 50s with a slide roll. And they built a plane that would, uh, if you pay attention to what they say, the plane would go well over 90,000 feet. It would do well past Mach 3. And the way they got the titanium to build the plane, the CIA had fake companies to buy the titanium from Russia. It was hilarious. And had it not been for satellites coming into play when they did in the late 60s, uh, the SR 71 had a drone that was piggybacked on it, and the drone would be released by the 71, and it would just do its automated flight. Gotcha, Mike. Well, Mike does everything. He doesn't hold back. He gets out there. I would say it's seldom that he fails, but he's not afraid to fail. Mike, what time are you and Allie going live? Is it going to be 3 o'clock your time? Last week wasn't a fiasco. It was just a lot of juggling going on. John P., thank you for all your support. I appreciate you, brother. Same with everybody in chat. I appreciate every one of you. Oh, shoot. Now I got Cameo Candy playing in my brain. Ah, John P., I am more than happy to visit everybody's channel. It's just that I have limited time. And I know everybody else has limited time. That's why I appreciate you guys so much. And I try to keep things to where they're not boring, but at the same time, relaxing. Whoa. How did the van get clogged up? Yeah, at Area 51, what they used to do was they found out that the Soviets satellites could do thermal imaging, and when they knew the satellite was coming over, they'd park all the planes under some kind of shelter. Oh, okay. Mr. Lee, we'll catch you later, buddy. Hope to see you tomorrow evening. I will go live tomorrow night, Mr. Lee. I wanted to go to the UFO con, but then I realized I've already done one trip to the mountains and canceled that Saturday night show, and I don't want to interrupt the Beatles. So I'm just going to do something local. Mike might be interested in what I'm going to do tomorrow. I think tomorrow is the car show, and I might go there. Gotcha, John. The I've been to the UFO con. It's in Spruce Pine, North Carolina. I've been there twice, uh, but like I said, I can't do that and the show tomorrow night. And we're kind of on a series of Beatles. It's going to be a while. The Beatles are going to cover several Saturdays. Well, Northwoods, we hope it gets better. Yep, they they flew it straight up with a missile in its weapons bay and shot down a satellite. The F-15 went a very long time with zero being shot down. And I know the F-14 is way more famous, but I really like the F-15 and the F-16. I know, John P., you work late. In the 90s, I got on like a mailing loop with some fans of the SR-71, and one of the people that was on that loop was the flight director at NASA, and she scheduled all the SR-71 flights for NASA. Huh. Okay. Uh, and I did not know this, or would not have known this had it not been for her being in that email loop. But they would put little packets of stuff together and fly it on the SR-71, and then sell it in the gift shop down there. And she actually signed a little slip of paper verifying that the trinket flew on the SR-71. It reached a minimum altitude, which she put on the piece of paper, and the pertinent information. Nothing that was classified, of course. And I got like a tie pin and a couple of patches with the little piece of paper verifying that it flew on the SR-71. I like the YF-22. And again, personal opinion, but the YF-23 I think was a better choice. But for whatever reason, they didn't go with it. I think there's only two YF-23s in existence. They're in museums somewhere, air museums somewhere, and all of the equipment that was used to produce them was destroyed. I know we've lost a couple of F-15s in the last few years, but I mean, to have been put in service in the 70s and then go until 2010 with no losses, that's a pretty good record. And the F-35, I could see that being made and sold to NATO. We should have the uh, 22. I mean, really, we should have the 22. It's a much better plane. Yeah, Mike, I know about that one. That was the big to do where one guy got rescued straight away and the other guy was up on a mountain and they got him. And up until not too many years ago, the F 15 was still listed as one of the top 10 fighter jets on the planet. But I'm pretty sure it's fallen off the list of top 10 now because Russia and China has a couple. I wish Mr. Lee was still here. I wonder if the UK is still flying the Tornado. That's a low altitude attack craft. Yeah, Northwoods. And again, this is opinion, but I think there's too much buddy buddy stuff going on. Really, Northwoods. Uh, the Typhoon isn't that French made? Oh, really? Still in the top 10. Good. I saw a couple of top. Well, it, it was on YouTube. A couple of top 10 lists, and the F-15 wasn't on it. But I mean that the F-15 is from the 70s. Exactly, John P. Mike, what do you mean Google didn't like your comment about the F-35? I don't I don't see I don't see anything you typed and was blocked. Okay. Thanks, Northwoods. See that like I said, I haven't kept up with them. Whoa. Okay. Mike, I want to talk about that. Northwoods, John P. Soul Star, you guys. There's the link. Come up for a couple of minutes. I'm going to make a couple of minutes time for that discussion, and I want Mike to tell me what he said that Google blocked. I hope you guys have a great day. There's the link if you got a couple of minutes. I would really like to not be interrupted by Google and YouTube and whatnot for just a couple of minutes on this topic. All right, I'm going to go close down the live stream for the Nature Channel. I hope all of y'all have a great weekend. In a perfect world, I'll see you tomorrow night for continuing the Beatles chat. Everybody take care, and I hope kind words come your way today.